Alrighty, welcome to our last class of personal finance. So the block is almost over, if you can believe that. Just a little bit to go, and then we have one more block to go, and then it's summer. You can always take summer courses, though. I'll be teaching some summer courses coming up. So thanks everybody for joining us here. Let me share my screen and we'll get started, okay? And I was telling some of those that just came in, this is actually, come on, share for me. My Google's not responding. Can you guys hear me here? You can hear me still, okay. Oh no. Sorry guys, my computer's kind of freezing up a little bit. It says Chrome is not responsive, so hopefully this will become responsive in a second. Yeah, I can kind of still see your chat come through, so I know we're not completely like off, but great. Okay. All right, guys. So I do not think it will kick you out, but I think I'm going to have to X out and come back in. So I apologize. I'll be right back. Don't move a muscle. Okay, I wasn't gone too long. Can you guys hear me now? Okay. Jeez, I hate computer technical issues. Okay, hopefully this works now. Yay! All right. Very good. Okay, so welcome everyone. As I said, this is one of my favorite topics actually to teach about, identity theft and consumer protection. More of the identity theft part. It just there's some books and some really interesting things out there in regards to people pretending who they are not, right? And I think it fascinates me, kind of studying about it and stuff. As I said before, this is the last live class that we're going to be having. Okay, at the end we have module 13, 14, 15 that's due. I saw a message on here. It was back a little bit ago, but it said, when's the last time to turn anything in? About the 17th. Okay, so you have some time to get caught up, but I wouldn't take too much time to do it. Might as well get it done, work on other classes, and kind of go from there, okay? Okay. Yeah, I don't know if you're talking to me, Strider, but yeah, Zach is my real name. But it could maybe not be. Who knows? All right. So just so you know, this session is going to be recorded for learning purposes, and make sure that you're just kind of using the chat appropriately. No spamming, please, if you wouldn't mind. It's hard enough to see the chat anyways. I'm still using two different screens, but I try to get everybody's questions and comments in. Okay, so here's some questions to consider. Okay, what are consumer rights and responsibilities? Okay, so a consumer is you. Okay, somebody that consumes something else, right? So purchases something else. Like if you buy something from Amazon, you're a consumer. Okay, what protections do you have as a consumer in the agency? How can you avoid identity theft and fraud? How do I understand financial contracts? I thought I was recording already. Hold on. How do I avoid financial scams, that kind of stuff, okay? So let's talk about fraud real quick. Fraud is a deliberate, deceptive design designed to secure unfair and unlawful gain, okay? So you're basically cheating somebody out of something, okay? Identity theft, it's called true name fraud. It's someone is wrongfully acquires as a use to consumer and personal identification credit, such as that kind of stuff. I remember one time when I was in trouble. This was when I was younger, right? And the person called on the phone and they said, "Oh, is this Zach?" Because my name's Zach, right? And I said, "No, this is Jace, who is my younger brother." and and I used his name, right? I didn't want to get in trouble, and I'm like, Jace won't care, right? He's not worried about that. But people using other people's information, okay? What we're going to do right now is we're going to watch a little clip from a video. It's one of my favorite movies. If your parents let you watch it, that's great. It is PG-13, but it's called Catch Me If You Can. Okay, so Catch Me If You Can is based on a story by Frank Abagnale Jr., who and Leonardo DiCaprio plays him in the movie, but he poses to be an airline pilot. He's a Czech swindler. Okay, so basically he takes and fraudulently does checks. And to do that, he needed a different persona, right? A different identity. And so he poses, and this is a true story too that happened back in the 1950s, 60s. And so he posed as an airline pilot. He posed as a lawyer. He posed as a doctor. It doesn't portray it in the movie, but in the book, he actually portrayed a professor in Utah, actually, at BYU. So it's a very, very interesting story. But here's a little clip that will kind of tell you a little bit about it. All right. So if you do ever get a chance to watch that movie, it's really good. As I said, he poses, and then the FBI is chasing after him, trying to catch up to him. So it was something I want to do. So Catch Me If You Can. So that's a good story that would kind of relate to what we're talking about. So let's talk a little bit more about consumer rights and responsibilities. Remember, as I said before, a consumer is somebody that purchases something. So we're all consumers because we purchase items. Okay, so we have rights. We have rights to be safe, for safety, to be informed, to choose what we want to do, and to be heard. Okay. The responsibilities of different agencies to protect you, this would be more government agencies, is the use of a safe product. So there's like different product safety companies out there, the FDA, the Federal Drug Administration. So you think about the COVID-19 vaccine, they're making sure it's safe to be able to use. Okay. Other one, to seek information and use it to make decisions. There should be accurate records out there. I know a lot of skewed information comes from the internet, but we should be able to see real ratings on things. So like when I buy something, I usually look at ratings, right? I'm going to buy it from a reputable source, right? To choose, okay? So we can choose what we want to buy, that we don't all have to buy the same thing, and that we can be heard. So if we dislike something, we can say it, right? We can give a bad rating to a company or a product or something to that effect, okay? So we have those rights. So here's some associations or things that will protect you. So for example, you got the Food and Drug Administration, which basically protects what you're eating. They may have like recalls on things, like you hear it sometimes, like a recall on lettuce. It has salmonella in it, or something like that. Also, the Consumer of Product Safety Commission. So one of the things they used to have baby toys that were sent to their kids' toys, right? And they were painted with lead paint. And the kids were putting it in their mouths and they were getting lead poisoning, okay? We make sure those things don't happen, okay? That businesses are using stuff that won't harm people. Okay, the Federal Trade Commission, okay? So when you're talking about stocks and stuff like that, there's a trade commission that will oversee that. The Better Business Bureau, try to make sure you have reputable companies that you're dealing with. The Bureau of Consumer Protection, okay, to protect consumers. And then you also have different unions that can help you as well in this pact. Okay, so who protects the saver? So if you want to put money into an account, you usually have your bank account is usually backed up, federally insured is what it's called. Up to probably $250,000 is usually what they let you do. So, for example, if I had $200,000 in a bank account and that bank went under, my $200,000 would be insured by the federal government, and I would make sure I'd get that $200,000. Now, if I had $300,000 in the bank account, I'd only get up to $250,000 because that's what the insurance will cover up to. Okay, so it just makes you want to put trust in banks, just so you'll put your money in institutions. Okay. Okay, so here's some ways to avoid identity theft, okay? Monitor your credit report. Don't give out personal information to unknown people or companies. Protect your credit and debit cards that you have. Protect your mail. Protect your wallet. Use passwords and PINs that are not easily guessed. Use antivirus software. Notify your bank when there's any change to your address or phone number, okay? Very important stuff out there. Okay, we have a little collaborative thing here. So here's the question I want you to answer. Bethany purchased a new pair of shoes from the internet. What steps should she take to ensure her identity was protected while making the purchase. Okay, what are some things that she should do? Make sure the website is a safe site. Very good. Okay. There's a little thing at the top of your browser that shows if it's a secure site. When you're putting your credit card information in, you want to make sure it has that secure thing on there. Okay. What are some other things? I'll tell you one of the things I do while I'm looking more. I make sure I use a credit card when I'm purchasing online. Okay. Because the credit card has zero liability. So if somebody were to take my credit card information, I just tell my credit card company that wasn't me, and they refund me back the money. Okay. If it's a debit card, you may not get it back. That means it's coming right directly from your account. Okay. Let's see here. Some people said protect against hackers on your computer. Correct. Yep. So use passwords, that kind of thing. Make sure you're running different spyware, that kind of stuff. Use a pre-purchased Visa card instead of a debit card. That's a very good one as well. That's something that I do. Some things are too good to be true on the internet, and they entice you. What I do is if I want to make something from maybe a shady website, just because I like the product, I'm not exactly sure of it, I can't really tell, I'll go have a prepaid Visa card or MasterCard or something like that. I only put the exact amount on that I'm going to do, and I make the purchase. Okay. That way, it protects me. If somebody steals my card, they can't run up any more money. You know, I'm just out the money to do that. Hunt down the person or story or store she's buying from, like psychopath. I think you're thinking about just. I think this is what you mean here. I think you mean that you want to research the company, right? Make sure it's a reputable company to be able to do it. Right? Anything else you guys can think of? All right, I guess we'll move on. But those are some good things to kind of protect yourself, okay? Okay, scams and schemes. A scam is a fraudulent or deceptive scheme. It's about the same as what we watched our little clip about Catch Me If You Can, okay? He was doing some fraud. But watch this video. This video is put on by what's called The Real Hustle. The Real Hustle is a little television show based in the UK about how people fraudulently steal things. And I think this is kind of a good one to kind of show what lengths people go to get things. So watch this. All right, guys. So what do you guys think about that? Is that pretty crazy? Pretty sly. Yeah, it's amazing what you come up with. That show, The Real Hustle, you can find on YouTube actually. There's a lot of things just like there, that just little scams and schemes that people do, right? And there's actually so many over in Britain and the UK that they've came out with this to try to let the public know that these things are going on, right? And that you need to be protect your stuff and your valuables. Striders is evil. Yep. All right. Let's talk about some other ones. It was a lot of work for what seemed just like a little bit of goods. Well, you think about it, Tyson, real quick. If you got 10 bags, okay, and 10 bags, each of them probably have some type of merchandise in them that they just purchased, right? So brand new goods. They have money in them, possibly wallets, possibly other things that you could have. You would say $100 per bag. That's $1,000. You'd make $1,000 in 3 or 4 hours, maybe. Yep, and possibly more than that. So, yeah. So I mean, it's there's a lot that could have gone into it, and they were filming it, and they gave all that stuff back, right? That was just showing what was happening, but it could be quite a bit of money that they gained, right, from it. So, I would, yeah, I wouldn't want to be in that situation. Okay, let's talk about some other schemes real quick. Some other ones are based upon money. Okay, you may probably heard of a pyramid scheme before. Okay, it's a type of financial fraud which people pay to join an organization in exchange to sell memberships to other people. Okay, and usually that membership gets them something like that. I've had a bunch of people try to talk me into, these multi-level marketing stuff. Okay, Ponzi scheme. Okay, Ponzi scheme is closely related to a pyramid scheme, but the promoter generally has no product to sell and pays no commission to investors who recruit new members. Okay, so something that you want to look out for is, what people try to get you to do. And honestly, there's not a really get rich quick kind of thing that you're going to find out there. Usually, to make money, it takes hard work, right? So if somebody's trying to sell you on something, it's like, oh, you only need to do this, and then you make a whole bunch of money off somebody else. Really, I'd have philosophical doubt. It's a scientific term, okay? It means bullcrap detector, right? Be cautious about how things think. There's other things called infinity schemes. It's the name of a type of scheme that targets a member of a specific demographic, particularly elderly people or ethnic people or religious people, that kind of stuff. Predatory lending, okay? If somebody goes and tries to lend you a bunch of money, it's usually a scam, okay? They usually prey upon people that need money and need to borrow, and next thing you know, your money's coming out of your paycheck to pay these guys that you got that. People on social media try to get me to PayPal them $100 and then they'll give me 200 or 500. Yeah, that's not going to happen. KSL is a big one as well. People on KSL, like if you're trying to sell something, they're like, hey, I'll give you something, this money, and I'll send it to you, and then you send me back. Don't transfer money like that, right? Just say, bring me cash or a cashier's check, period. Okay. It's not, sometimes you got to be mean to people. Okay, so 10 warning signs. There's warning signs of like predatory mortgages, like paying it. So a bunch of fees that are gone on there, balloon interest payments. You hear all those things, you better watch out, okay? Some other common scams, advanced fee scheme. So something that got for me, luckily I was using a credit card, right, that didn't allow it. I always use credit cards just because of this zero liability thing. But I was in a small town, and I went through the grocery store, and I swiped my card to pay for my what I was buying. Then I had my friend buy right behind me, and he swiped his card, which was a debit card. And he went, and luckily he caught it. He looked at his thing, and it had a meal, or it had what he purchased plus $20. Okay. He said he pushed no on the cash back, but for some reason that was tricked. And I think what the cashier was doing possibly was saying, oh, that got $20. They're taking $20 out, put it underneath. And so everybody that they could do that to, they would do it to. Okay. Be careful. Okay. Online auctions, fraudulent jobs to get personal information, making money schemes, bogus charities, scam schools. Okay. A lot of things out there. How do thieves work? They don't take a whole bunch of money over time. They skim. They dumpster dive. They use computer spyware, account redirection, phishing, farming, wireless hacking, stealing, and shoulder surfing. Okay, a lot of stuff out there you got to look out for. Okay, top strategies to not be a victim or avoid. One, say you're not going to be. Don't be. Okay, investigate strangers who be too good to be true. Okay. Always stay in charge of your money. Don't be fooled by appearances. Watch out for salesperson who prey on fear. Monitor your investments. Do like that. Be wary of door-to-door solicitation. Okay. All right, that is it. We will not have study hall this Friday because we have another training. But what you need to do this week, finish everything off. Module 13, 14, 15, and then make sure everything's in by the 17th. And that's all I got for you. Okay. So any